Well, hello again, nerds. We are doing the thing. This time it's Young Gravy. I had never heard of Young Gravy before I saw him open for Limp Bizkit. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Let's do this first, though. Well, hello there, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for this reaction video. We have a couple of things to get out of the way before we can get back to said video. First and foremost, I do reactions as more of a initial analysis. So we're going to be stopping this. We're going to be talking over certain things. We're going to be replaying sections. We're going to be doing a lot of things that are not conducive to somebody who just wants to watch the original content. If you would rather watch the original content uninterrupted, then please go do that. I definitely would recommend that before you join me here on this reaction and analysis. Beyond that, I have to get my qualifications out of the way. I have been training in music since I was a little kid, which means approximately 30 years. I have been a professional musician and studio producer for about 20 of those 30 years. I have also been making, directing, and editing music videos and YouTube content for over a decade at this point. So I have a base of knowledge that lends itself to adding something constructive to this conversation. And that is exactly what this is. This is a conversation. This is my interpretation of what we are about to react to and analyze. If you have a different interpretation, that's what the comment section is for. Let's have a conversation about this thing, about why it may or may not be the greatest thing ever, whatever it is. I welcome the comments. I do request, though, that you try and be constructive with your criticism, or you at least have some sort of knowledge base to work from, because gotcha moments are not going to work in this comment section. I do have a pretty strong knowledge base and a pretty strong opinion most of the time. So, all of that being said, thank you very much for joining me right now, and let's get back to your regularly scheduled reaction video. Okay, so talking about my history with the artist, we're actually going to read his wiki a little bit more than I anticipated because there's some interesting stuff in here. So Wikipedia, the brief blurb at the top says, it gives his proper name. I don't give a shit. Known professionally as Young Gravy, is an American rapper from Minnesota. He gained recognition in 2017 when his song Mr. Clean gained traction on SoundCloud and is now RIAA certified platinum. Since 2017, Young Gravy has completed 7 international tours and has released 1 mixtape, 3 albums, and 7 EPs. That is a lot of music to release. What is that, 10, 11 different things since 2017. Young Gravy is often associated with fellow artists BB Nos and Chief Keef, as well as producer Y2K. The thing that I thought was really interesting in his wiki bio is Young Gravy's musical style is a blend of modern trap music and themes inspired by the soul and oldies movements of the 1950s and 60s, as well as the 70s and 80s soul and funk music. For example, his song Gravy Train samples Maxine Nightingale's 1976 song Right Back Where We Started From, and breakout hit Mr. Clean samples the popular 1954 song Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes. His musical style has been described as humorous, satirical, and groovy. I can understand humorous and satirical, but the groovy, it's a borrowed groove at best. Young Gravy has cited musicians from multiple genres as inspirations. They include hip-hop acts such as Outkast, nice name drop, 3 6 Mafia, nice name drop, and soul acts ranging from Smokey Robinson to the Blackbirds, also good name drop. So at least he knows his musical history. But like I said in the intro to this video, I saw him open up for Limp Bizkit. I would have never known this guy existed if not for Limp Bizkit. So when I got this signed by the dudes in the Bizkit, this is when I saw, oh man, I It takes a lot for me to be bored at a concert. I was kind of bored, and I know that he's got some rabid fans who are going to absolutely hang me in the comment section, but I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Just thought it was boring. All of his songs are so short, and as is evidenced by the fact that he's released 11 different variations of an album over the last, 5 years? 11. That's like Buckethead levels of release without any of the talent. Anyway, so I just, each song, there was one song that I was like, all right, I can understand. And maybe the rest of his catalog sounds like this one song. Definitely didn't seem to be the case, because every other song was under 2.5 minutes, or right about 2.5 minutes or shorter. And just, there was no real hook. You couldn't really get into it. By the time you found where he was going with the groove, the song was over, and it was like, what? So that's kind of where I'm at with Young Gravy. I think this is his new single. It's relatively new. Let me pull up the page so I can tell you when the video came out. June 10th, so a couple weeks ago. About a month ago, actually. So I believe this is his new single. Maybe he puts all of the work into the singles, and that's why he's put out 11 albums since 2017, is because each one of those only has one good song, and that's the single from that. I don't know. And again, I apologize if I offend, but I just got to be honest, man. I'm not saying you're dumb for listening to him. I'm just saying I don't get it. That's all I'm saying. So, where was I? Oh yeah, we had to do this. Expectations. Let's do expectations. I expect to get a little chuckle out of it. There were a couple of lyrics when he opened up for Bizkit that, like, I was like, all right, that's funny. I can see how people would like that if that was more prevalent. But still, even some of the jokes were falling flat to the audience that was there, who presumably knew him better than I. So I expect to get a little bit of a laugh. I expect to at least appreciate. Maybe I won't like it necessarily, but appreciate the beat, the production behind it, because modern hip hop production is always pretty good. Even trap stuff. I actually really like trap more than most modern production. It's just the lyrics over trap that I like even less than modern. Whatever. So that's kind of where we are for expectations. Let's get into this. Doing the thing. All right, let's make it big. Oops, that's the wrong. There we go. Make it big and push to play. All right. All right, so there we go. Chuckle right off the beginning.
Never lay you down, baby. Hey, what's your baby mama at the crib and blow her back out? Shorty Filipino and she call me Manny Pacquiao. Alley-oop without the hoop, they call me Jerry Stackhouse. Dazing out in public, but your mama made me snap out. Before I get the dog, got the morning routine. Wake up bright and early to some brand new cream. Floss 3 times, baby, all so clean. Gravy got cheese now, that's poutine. Gravy coming hot like I'm hopping off the grill.
Yeah. All right. So funny. The reason I like modern trap production better than modern hip hop and rap production is because, listen to that beat, man. You put that in to some speakers, you crank that on your stereo, you put it in your car, and just let that roll, man. That is why I originally appreciated hip hop, is because of you can feel the music emanating from the speakers, even in headphones with something like this. So yeah, I dig it. I dig that for sure.
Pull up on a kid if you're trying to get belittled. All the mamas love me now, I think I'm peanut brittle. Flex the rainbow, bang it like some Skittles. Gravy, why you out of pocket? Stop it. I know. I'm getting money, Gravy Crockett. Never take a L no more. Never take a damn thing slow. All I know is chase this.
He is just ridiculous. All right, I get it.
Never gonna take no loss. Never gonna lose my sauce. All I know is chase this. And get money. Get money.
Probably into the early morning. We're gonna get we might get that chorus one more time by the end of the song.
Fast life, I don't got a type, baby, I'm the cash type. Still getting dividends from a past life. I get your daddy's net worth on a bad night, cause I act right. Yeah, rockin' rig, clapping ass leads like the 80s. Never give it up until the reaper come and slay me. Zelda and a peach and a daisy. I be dirty dancing, all the yelling gravy Swayze.
All right, that was good. That was good. Ooh, I like that synth. Ooh, I like that synth.
Never take a L no more. Never take a damn thing slow. All I know is chase this dough and get money. Never gonna take no loss. Never gonna lose my sauce. All I know is chase this and get money. Get money, get money. Get money. Gravy. Get money.
Now I understand why Fred Durst had him as the act right before Limp Bizkit. I can see it. I'm not saying I'm necessarily gonna go listen to Young Gravy with any sort of regularity, but I understand it now. It just doesn't translate very well live, I guess, because he kind of, I don't know. Maybe I was just not in the mood for it that day. I got nothing. But even so, if seeing this, even with this appreciation that I am kind of finding for Young Gravy, I still think it would be very out of place at a Limp Bizkit show, considering one of the opening bands was Dying Wish. Come on now. Oops. All right. All right. So yeah, ridiculous. couple of chuckles from me. This is, I think, I hope maybe even a little bit of a resurgence of 90s sentimentality as far as production goes. This is a fair example of quality that doesn't necessarily have to be in the lyrical content, because he's making jokes, he's having a good time, and that's kind of the point. And I can dig that. I can get behind that, at least in theory. The execution still leaves a little something for me to be desired, but I can honestly say I went from hating this stuff. Well, hating is probably a little strong, but in the colloquial way of using the term, hating on it, I went from hating on this to I can understand it. I don't love it. I don't necessarily like it, but I can understand it, and I have an appreciation for it. That's probably a good way to put that. Modern production though, I like the bottom heavy bass. I like the trap stuff apparently. So yeah, that's what we got. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining. We're going to kick it out now. We got a couple more reactions probably heading your way. I don't know how these are all releasing while I'm gone. I haven't decided that yet, but we are going to do the thing, and I'll see you when I get back. Be sure you are subscribed so you can see the other reactions that are going to be releasing on the channel, as well as catching the Nerd News Pop Culture News show that I do once a week when I am back on my regular schedule. Check out all of that. Leave a thumbs up. Let the algorithm gods know you appreciate what is going on here. You might not like it, you might not love it, hopefully you don't hate it, but you appreciate it, and that's the key. So thank you very much, nerds. We're gonna go now. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.